things that we need to do as citizens, and maybe some understanding about some of the things that happen. It's a big honor to have them here with us today because they honor so many special people, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about the work that they do. Please show them respect. Please keep our Navajo way in mind. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. My name is Patricia Finley, and I'm the commander of the American Legion Post 12, Lucero y Nava. Same Nava as your school, Francis Xavier Nava. So that's why we wanted to be here with you, because we're kind of related. This post here is, I want to introduce all the members of my post here that came today to be with you, and let them tell you a little bit about their military careers and anything else you want to say, okay? Later on, after we do a presentation of how you fold the American flag and tell you what that means, then you have time to ask us some questions if you want to. So be thinking about it. Not now, but later. So, I was in the Navy for 21 years. And I was a nurse initially, and then I went into anesthesia, which means you know when you go to surgery, I can put you to sleep and wake you back up again. That is important. So when I retired in 2008, then I went here because my daughter went to the art school here, and I went to work over at Christus, and I worked there until 2022. Same job, just not in the Navy. So I've been on the USS Enterprise, which is decommissioned now. It's not floating anymore, but it was very historic. You can look it up. USS Enterprise. Not the one that goes up to the stars, okay? Not that one. So, firstly, I want to introduce, we have here, where's the microphone? Hard for him. Okay, this is, you can see he's wearing a vest. We have not only the Legionnaires, but we also have a group in our post, which are motorcycle riders. And we do a lot of things in the community. And Feathers, that's his riding name, is a motorcycle rider. And he can tell you about his military or whatever you'd like to say.
Hello, I'm Feathers. Yeah, we do community work. We do what we can for riding motorcycle. Last week I did the run for the wall from Gallup to Espanola, so we do whatever we can to ride our motorcycles. I joined the military in 1967, I think it is. And then I was assigned to, my first duty was right after my, what's that, 4 years? Yeah, I was at boot camp. Then from there, 2 months later, I got assigned to Vietnam. So I stayed in Vietnam for a year and a half. Then I came back and went back to Fort Sill for about 10 months. So and then I was out of the Army for now.
And thank you for your service. He mentioned Run for the Wall. That's a yearly the Vietnam Wall. Or, you know how many names are on that wall? How many people sacrificed in Vietnam? Anybody? How many?
30,000? Almost.
How many?
40,000?
Almost.
80,000?
More.
60,000?
Just about. It was like 58,500 and something. 58,739 today. That's a lot of people that sacrificed. Okay, here we have Jim Moss, and he's going to tell us about his military and whatever he likes.
Hello, Jim Moss here. I was an Army brat. My father was in the Army for World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. I had a daughter that was born here in Santa Fe. I took my oath of office when I was 18 years old, and I turned 82 last month. So I've been trying to uphold that oath all this time. For the most part, I hope I've done that.
Thank you. This is Gary. This is Gary Donato, and he was our adjutant, just like our secretary, legal, he knows everything about the American Legion. And
Hello, everyone. I'm Gary, and I was in the Navy. I got drafted into Vietnam in 1972 at 19 years old. And luckily, I was able to sign up for the Navy, and I ended up going on submarines. I was a nuclear engineer, nuclear reactor technician for 10 years, and then I went to officer. I became a nuclear weapons officer for my last 12 years. And I retired after 22 years in 1994, and then became a professor of history and government. Did that for 30 years.
does anyone know what a submarine is? What is it? What's a submarine? Okay, this is Ezekiel, and he is a member of our American Legion also.
Yes, I am, and I'm also second vice, and I also ride a motorcycle, and I'm joined the Air Force. And I did life support for, I'd say 8 years, and then I started working on airplanes. So, yeah, it was cool.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom. I've got a question. Does anyone know what the American Legion is? What is it? Okay, what we are, just so you know, we've all served in the military. The Legion is basically a group that we belong to. It's sort of like a club, and we basically do services to help other veterans that serve. Veteran is someone who's served in the military at one time. I served from 1998 to 1992. I was in the Navy also. I was in an unusual situation. I never saw a ship. I spent my whole time in San Diego, California, and Washington, D.C. But I still enjoyed it very much, and I was glad that I did.
Thank you. This is our injury member. You might know him. His name is Danny Nava.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dan Mama, and I was related to Frank. We used to call him Manchito. He's a few years older than I am, and he was killed in his service in Vietnam. First Santa Fe, and that's why he was the school to be after him. So I'm really honored to be part of his family. I I graduated from St. Michael's High School in 1970, and 2 weeks later, I was in San Diego boot camp learning what I had done to myself. A little bit after that, I was stationed in Naval Station 8 at Alaska, which is in the Aleutian Islands, just off the coast of Russia. And I'm honored to be here. It's a salute not only him, but all of you that are here to learn things that are very important to us. Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Carmela. I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm a proud graduate of St. Michael's High School and University of New Mexico and Air University and George Washington University. I did 21 years in the Air Force, and I flew on C-130 transport planes as a navigator. Did a few tours in Iraq and all over the world. My dad was in the Army, and he did 43 years. And so just that really, we're all happy and proud of our service and all that, but just an example that you all might know about what the American Legion, and specifically Post 12, all these fine people next to me, have done. Here in a couple of weeks is going to be Memorial Day, and so one of the things that we learned, and people need to learn even now, is we think of our deceased veterans on Memorial Day, right? We don't thank veterans on Memorial Day. We thank veterans on Veterans Day, which is in November. But anyways, if you're driving to school or you're driving home, you might see some banners on the down on Cerritos or St. Francis, and they go up a little bit before Memorial Day. That program used to be a part of this post. There are veterans from New Mexico, specifically Santa Fe and around the area here. A couple of these fine gentlemen have some banners, but and Patty has a banner too. But anyways, it's a really good thing to do for our community, for veterans, for their families if they're deceased, and those banners stay up till November. And now they are ran by the Knights of Columbus. So thank you guys so much for letting us be here.
Thank you. So Carmela brought up an excellent point that I think a lot of people miss. She said that Veterans Day is for veterans, and Memorial Day is kind of a sad day. We remember those who sacrificed, maybe at the National Cemetery. We're having a big service that day, and you're all welcome to come. We'll be there about 10 o'clock on Memorial Day. That's the 25th, Monday. I don't know, you don't have school then, do you? So this is Frank Gomez.
My name is Frank Now. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was flying Hueys in the 67, 68, and now I'm here.
This is Gary Bland. He is the captain of our Honor Guard team, and I'm going to let him speak.
Welcome this afternoon to our event here. We talked a lot about the Vietnam War. We talked about Vietnam. Who knows what Vietnam War was? Anybody here know what it was? I didn't think so. America has been involved in a number of wars, on from the revolution, on through the recent activities in Afghanistan, Iraq, and now currently in Iran. The Vietnam War was a war that was 10 years long, and 58,278 men lost their, women lost their lives. Yes, women as well, because the nurses were sacrificed along with everybody else. I, Frank, and Feathers were combat veterans of Vietnam, as was Terry, you'll hear from here shortly, of the Navy. I was in the Army Communications Officer, and currently work with the Honor Guard of the National Cemetery. The National Cemetery, for veterans who choose to be buried there, may be buried there for free, and their spouses along with them, and sometimes children who are dependent.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us here today. It's very much an honor to see the next generations that are going to be coming after us to continue in the path of honoring this country. My service started in 1968 and ended in 1974. I was a GMT, which is government technician, second class. What I was trained to do was sent here to Albuquerque, then Sandia Base, now Sandia Labs, to learn about nuclear weapons, how to maintain them, and we were often known as keepers of the dragon. I did one tour in Vietnam. I was also part of a demolition team that our duty was to Masonic carrier, USS Coral Sea. And our duty, we were a 6-man team to destroy any ship should come under attack or be disabled. That would mean that it was basically a suicide mission since we only had 20 minutes to get off the ship. So I'm very happy to be here and again to see all these faces and again thank you.
What we're going to do now is show you the proper way to fold a flag and what it actually means. Even, a lot of people don't know that every fold has a meaning. So I'm going to bring Gary back up here. Gary Donato, please.
And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So American Legion Post 12 will come to attention. Everybody please stand. And as we say the Pledge of Allegiance, those of you who are not military, put your hands over your heart. And those of us who are military, we will salute the flag. All ready? You can all recite it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good. Give yourselves a hold up. That was great. Excellent. Right now, as they unfold the flag, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. How many stars are on the flag? 50. Great. How many stripes? 13. Why? Very good. 13 original colonies. And the stars, each star for one star for every state, right, Carl? Good. Okay. What are the colors of the flag? Very good. Blue. What does red stand for? What does red color stand for? A lot of people say blood. that was spilled. It really stands for valor and bravery. Okay? Those of us who serve consider valorous and brave. What does the white stand for? Anybody? It stands for either peace or tranquility or purity of purpose. Okay? And finally, the blue. Harmony. Close. Very good. Justice. Very good. So it stands for vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Okay? Excellent. Thank you very much. Now we'll start. Notice they fold the flag longitudinally, right? Lengthwise. They make sure it's nice and tight. Now we're going to start the 13 folds of the flag. Okay? The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veteran departing of ranks who gave a portion of life for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nation. For as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace, as well in times of war, for divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. For in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, they should always be right, hopefully. But it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag, just like that, you hand over your heart, and to the republic for which it stands. The seventh fold is a tribute to those who served in the armed forces. It is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of the republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, and to honor our mothers, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, and loyalty and devotion and the character of our men and women who have made this country great and been molded. And honor our moms. The 10th fold is a tribute to our fathers, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold represents and glorifies in the Hebrew eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold represents the emblem of eternity. In the eyes of the Christian people, it is the Holy Trinity. When the flag is completely folded, we should see no red and no white. We should only see the blue background and the stars that are on that blue background. And it reminds us of our national motto, "In God We Trust." Now, while they're tucking things in to make it look nice and tight, traditionally, the folding of the flag is very silent. Like when you go to the cemetery, you don't hear anything. We're just explaining it here. The presentation is very soft. And it's followed by 3 rifle volleys. And then after a rifle volley, which is always for me very emotional, the bugler will then play taps. So we're going to hang on just a minute. After we're done folding the flag, one veteran will hold the flag, the other will salute, and the first veteran will pass the flag to the second veteran. We see the first veteran will render a salute. What our commander is doing right now is making sure all the folds are nice and tight and everything is tucked in properly. The second veteran makes sure that all the folds are nice and tight. Salute. Turns the flag so the straight edge goes to the person who's receiving the flag. They will deliver the flag.
On behalf of the President of the United States military, and a grateful nation. Please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation of our loved ones, honor, and faithful service.
Now we're going to hear tap. Always breaks me.
For those of you who are scouting, please, all of you, please rise. When you hear tap, place your hand over your heart. For those of you who are in scouting, please render your proper scouting salute. Taps is normally played not only during funerals, but at the end of every military day. They have what you call retreat. Flag is lowered and taps is played. It is 24 notes, and it is always played for the military. I'll give you our rendition here. This is a look.
to give you this coin, the American Legion Post 12. And thank you very much for having us here at this wonderful school. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all, to all of you. Great answer. Outside in the ceremony outdoors, and you salute the flag is waving back at you. Keep that in mind. Thank you.
I just wanted to say one thing. If you're ever on a military base, even the one, the Air Force Base in Albuquerque, Brooklyn, and they have TAC playing at any time, if you're in the car, all cars pull over and stop. And a lot of the active duty military, retired military, they'll get out of the car and salute. I mean, it's a very honorable thing. Do y'all have any questions? Now we're the panel, and that's the last of our, go ahead. Does military food take,
On some
Any-
days, yes.
okay, we have
It depends what service you're in, if you're an officer or enlisted.
that is true. Did you hear that? Any other answers?
It's kind of like the cafeteria. Some days it's really good, some days it's not. You just kind of got to roll with it sometimes.
Plus, if you're out in the field, you have little packets. Just, it's like, freeze and you put water in it, and then you eat it.
I was wondering if we played any other songs in the military.
Many songs. In fact, that bugle plays many songs, 5 different ones.
Number one is to get you up in the morning to road, which is kind of fun. At 5 o'clock in the morning, so the morning run for the loudspeakers to get you up. And secondly, during the day, they have a number of bugle calls which call you to various forms of duty. You have the chow call. Obviously, you go to your food. Then they have a work call. It's another bugle call. Then, in the middle of the afternoon, at noon, they generally will play a call for the noon time, which can do any one of several other calls. Then, of course, play retreat, which is end of the day, they lower the flag, and then at the end of that day, they will play taps.
And every
There are the service songs. There's really only one. It's the Army service.
Maybe one's better.
All right, we have a question over here.
Why do you wear gloves to fold the flag?
Why do we wear gloves to fold our flag?
That's a very good question. The purpose of wearing gloves is to respect the flag, to keep it clean and in a presentable way. It also, if the flag is ever dropped on the ground, it has to be picked up and destroyed. It cannot be used again. It's a matter of respect of the flag. The flag, what we work with today is called the burial flag. And
Put it straight in.
all right. Anyway, I can talk anyway. So the flag happens to be a little over 9 feet long and 5.5 feet wide.
Oh, my friend, my dad was not in the Navy. My dad was in the Army. And my dad did live. He died in 2021 on Veterans Day. And I was with him, and it was very, very honorable. And he's buried at the National Cemetery, and he had full military honors, so he had the Adjutant General of the New Mexico National Guard, who, by the way, his name is Ken Nava. Does that name sound familiar by any chance? Related to Danny Nava, who's related to Francis Nava, who actually my dad served with. My dad was very old. Anyways, that's it.
We have another question over here.
Why do you wear all those pins on your hats?
The pins on our hats are symbols of our service, where we might have been, what our job was. I think I have one on here that looks like a caduceus, which is a medical one, for your, has RN on it. And then I have another one that has the Enterprise, USS Enterprise. And then various conferences that we go to, we got pins. So they usually have a pin they hand out. I mean, who has that ginormous pin on? Oh, yeah. He has a pin that he got at one of our conventions. It says, "Be the one." Be the one. Okay. Does anyone else want to say anything about their pins on their hats? Shows the branch of service that you were in. And it can be a totally unique set of pins, because you'll notice these are different from his. He has submarines on his, little pins of submarines. I have a carrier. You have cross flags, signal corps, all kinds of different things. They symbolize everything.
We have another question.
What do you do when you're practicing to get ready for the battle?
Can't hear.
So what do we do when we're practicing to get ready for going on in the battle of the Navy?
Besides praying.
Hey, you guys. So it doesn't matter what service you're in. Military service is all about training and education all the time. You go to basic training, you learn how to wear the uniform, how to march, how to acknowledge senior officers, how to deal with people that are the same rank with you. You just learn all about the military, and then you learn how to practice, practice, practice. Then you're done with that, and you go to your school, whatever you're going to be, and you learn more marching, and more of this, more of that, and practice, practice, practice. Then you go to wherever it is that you're going to go, to your submarine, to your ship, to your post, to your Air Force base, and your assignment, and you practice, practice, practice. And basically you train like you fight. That's what we call it in the Air Force, right? Because when we go to combat, it's just like training, but it's actually real. So that's what we do.
And it's fun. Can be.
Lots of school. Lots of school.
The part about the military is that your brotherhood and sisterhood, you look out for each other. You catch, you watch out for each other's back, and everybody watches out for them. And we work to protect the country, the community, your families, and we respect everyone that is part of the military and in the civilian life as well.
We have a question over here.
I have a question, I have a comment. My mom kind of sounds like, I forgot what it was, but it kind of sounds
be organized, it also teaches us to be disciplined, and it also teaches us to watch out for each other.
That we're a team.
Right, it's a team, right?
Why do you fold the flag in a triangle?
Why is the flag folded in a triangle?
Ah, these questions. Anyway, why do you fold the flag in a triangle? Maybe try the flag, fold it in a square, or fold it in a long, a circle, or any other shape. Would it look like flag that's being presented with honor?
It reminds me of honor, courage, commitment.
And historically, for those of you who are going to be history majors, it looks like a Revolutionary War cocked hat, trifold hat. Okay? She said her dad was in the Navy.
Yay!
Woohoo! You guys have a favorite subject? I'll start off with that one. My favorite subject was math and physics. So I was part of submarines and worked on reactors, which you need to know a lot about math and physics about. Okay? So that was my favorite subject then. And when I got out, history and politics.
Yes, my favorite in class was math. So I like to see that a lot of math competition.
Are you ready?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Were you forced to shave your beard? And if you were, why?
Mostly for the men. Were you forced to shave your beard?
Yes, I was.
And if so, why? I had to shave. I had a full beard when I first went in, right after the boot camp. And it was all the way up until when Jimmy Carter became president. And he told us to all shave our beards. So then we shaved.
I think the main reason that they tell us that they made you shave us when I was there was that you wear breathing apparatus designed to do masks and things like that so that you can breathe in fire or in other situations, and it allows it to seal to your face without making it hard to get the mask to seal. So it does have a practical point, but
So, yeah.
we all like to wear everything.
So what Tom was saying, as I was in my field, I was required to have a clean shaved face. We had OBAs, which are self-contained oxygen breathing apparatuses. The mask would not fit on your face, it would leak, and in my field, it would mean that I would be contaminated with radiation or other types of contaminants, which would not be very helpful in my part.
I've never had a beard, but I used to carry
No,
a gas mask, and we'd have to go through the gas chamber for training. And I imagine anyone that had hair on their face was sorry, because if you had a leak in there, you came out hacking and coughing, and your eyes were dripping, and it was awful. So, he remembers it was a good time.
Little story is when I was on board submarines, nobody cared. And so I appeared and came down here. And the captain said, my boss, right, said, if you can't wear a breathing apparatus, a breathing mask, you can't have that beard. So I shaved really close up to here, put the mask on, and I folded the hair up to here. And I could breathe. And I was fine. He wasn't happy.
I had as Feathers and Frank and I can verify in the Army and I'm sure for the Marines and anybody else, we spend any time crawling around in the dirt and jungles, sometimes for 6 weeks without a shower, without anything really good to eat. You know what? Long hair, because the bugs out there and the dirt out there really loves long hair.
Question over here. Why do we have to shave our hair before going to war? Pretty much the same answers we've been giving you. It's to keep for cleanliness, because you're going to get dirty, you're going to get bugs, all that other stuff. So it's pretty much for cleanliness.
As well as team, looking like the team. You kind of wear the uniform, you look alike, same kind of haircut. It's kind of a conformity thing during that boot camp period and forward.
Why do we have patches on our shirts?
It identifies us. So, for instance, we all don't have this, thank God. But this says Post 12 American Legion Honor Guard. We all have it in the same place. This says Honor Guard, and over on this side it's going to say Post 12, and we all have the American flag. I think we might consider putting a New Mexico flag there also. We just never got to that. Oh, and his vest, yes.
Right? Ready? Question. That's how we won against the British, right? Why do we have to march in battle when we're probably going to get shot?
The official answer to that is, this is the official military answer. An army has to be able to move, shoot, and communicate in an organized manner. So to go from point A to point B, you want to march everybody as organized as you can. And all of that really works really well until the first shot is fired.
And then it's scattered for cover.
Ready?
What's your favorite food in the Army?
Favorite food in the Army? Frank, be nice.
Well, while I was in the Army, we had sea rations, which are cans of food. They had crackers, they had turkey, they had all sorts of stuff in cans. And my favorite was the crackers with jelly.
Ready?
Why do most of you wear blue?
Why do most of you wear blue? Because it's the color of Navy water.
That's the uniform color. We chose this color.
Different branches of the service will wear different color uniforms as well.
Yeah, every branch has its own uniform, and they have different colors.
Favorite sports? Mine was football in high school, boxing in the Navy, and judo in the Navy.
Baseball.
Football.
Where's Pat Brandon?
I played volleyball, softball, and cheered in high school, and I love baseball, and pretty much all sports, hockey, you name it.
Football, baseball.
Basketball.
Ken, I was men's and women's tennis coach for 10 years at the College of Santa Fe. Football.
Motorcycling.
All right, we have one over here. Question is the National Guard part of the military?
Absolutely. The National Guard spends a lot of time being the first into combat oftentimes. They activate the National Guard, and the reserve units often and send them in before they send in the regular military. So it's an honor to serve the National Guard, and if you get a chance, please do.
What's the enemy's most dangerous weapon?
Hey, hang on, let me answer the National Guard question. The New Mexico National Guard, in every state in the country that has a National Guard, they have an Army and an Air Guard. They're very important, okay? They have a dual role. In the state of New Mexico, you've probably seen lately that they've saved a couple of people in the fire up north, or down south. I think they've saved somebody that was stranded on a mountain. On the Army Guard side, they fly helicopters. All right, but when I say dual role, it means that the President of the United States can activate the National Guard for federal peacetime or federal or wartime, okay? The governor of the state of New Mexico can activate the National Guard for state emergencies or state needs. So federal and state, okay? Very, very unique, very important, and very committed to all of you in every community in New Mexico. So if you see them, give them a high five because they don't get enough respect.
All right, we have another question here.
What was the enemy's most dangerous weapon?
Most dangerous weapon, from my perspective, changes with every different conflict, right? Because they get more technology, more technology. For me, on submarines, it was another submarine. Because they were quiet, we were quiet, they could sneak up on us. But we were always quiet.
The honest answer to that is it changes from conflict to conflict. It used to be the rifle, it used to be a sword, it used to be horses, rifles, and swords. Now it's flying objects out of the sky and just come out of anywhere, but they still call the queen of battle is artillery. Artillery shells, the aerial bombardment, that's the most dangerous things in battle still.
Another question here?
What was America's first war?
What was America's first war? Historian?
The American Revolution.
The American Revolution was the first official America's first war, although the colonies fought different wars before that. But the American Revolution, the Declaration of Independence, right after that, we then fought the British so that we could gain our independence from the British. So that was considered as America's first war. Excellent question.
Hello? Okay. That'll be all the questions for today, but we can always come back another day. And I think we have several activities with the American Legion that we're going to be trying to be involved in our community this year, more and more. So since we've kind of adopted
yourselves a huge round of applause. And now I want you to turn to your people and thank them for bringing you here.
Hello? Hello? Woo! Okay, so one more thing before you leave. We have collected the coloring books that we passed out last week. And I don't know if your principal told you, but we're going to have a committee and we're going to judge what we'll tell you about the judging next time when we see you, but we're going to offer a first, second, and third prize for each grade level. So next time we come back, we'll bring the coloring books. First prize is $50. Second prize, $25. Third prize, $25. So we will let you know once we checked out the coloring books, okay? So see you next